Welcome as always to another insightful tutorial on this platform. In our tutorial today, we want to learn how to draft a corset pattern professionally. I'll be showing us with some exercises why we need to do certain things the way I'm going to be showing us, and I'm sure at the end of the day, you are going to love this method of drafting corset pattern. This particular topic took me off YouTube for about 3 weeks. I did a lot of research because there was something I was just looking for, and until I got it before I decided to upload this particular video. If you are new to this channel, a big welcome to you. This is Laperi College of Fashion YouTube sewing channel where we upload detailed sewing tutorial weekly on pattern drafting and sewing techniques. I would love you to be part of this wonderful family. All you just need to do is to click on that subscription button. Subscription is absolutely free. Once you click, you're already part of the family, and also hit the notification bell so that every week as I upload video, you'll be notified and you'll be the first to watch. So in our tutorial today, we'll be learning corset pattern. Yes, corset has been reigning for a while. Yes, and we want to do a lot of justice to it. I'll be showing us certain things that we need to put into consideration when we are drafting our corset pattern. It's going to be a lovely video and exciting one, and I want you to watch it till the very end. Do not forget to share, do not forget to like, and give me a thumbs up at the end of the day. So let's go fully into the tutorial. To draft a corset pattern, here is a sketch of the gown I want to make as corset. And to do this, I'll need my basic bodice pattern, which had already gone ahead to transfer out this way from the original pattern. And this is the Laperi's method of drafting basic bodice pattern. In the same way, I've also gone ahead to do that of the skirts pattern because I'm making a gown. So you might need your skirts pattern, you might not, depending on what you are making. So I'll quickly run through the drafting of the back piece so that we have ample time to work on our front piece, which is the main focus for today's tutorial, which is the corset. I'm sure you can't wait to see the corset drafting. So what I'm trying to do is to fill up the back piece where necessary, do all my waist shaping, that movement, so that when I want to join up and down of the back pieces, they both align. In the same way I fuse the skirts and bodies of the front piece, I'm having a basque waistline. So I impute my waistline, cut through the waist, and do all the necessary waist filling, shaping, and so that for the front piece, both up and down to be aligned. So here we are now with our bodice pattern, and starting from the back piece, depending on the style line that you have, the first thing is to align front and back pieces at the shoulder line, determine your neck width, and know what you have left on the shoulder line. So for this particular one, I come inward with 1.5 from neck point, so that what I have left on the shoulder will be 3.5. Then we can now go ahead to work on the back, whether with zipper or with loop, lacing, whatsoever. Just cut as desired. So for this, I'm having a shoulder princess. So I'll go ahead now to panel and remove my dart, and my back piece is ready. Now for the front piece, which is our main focus, remember we are done our neck width here to align with that of the back piece. So the first thing we need to do is to do our neck depth. And usually I don't like to pick this from the neck. Instead, I like to use my bust radius, which is the distance from the apex, the bust point here, down to the underbust line. I'll be using that as a guide to get my corset style line. So I get my measurements. Underbust line here is 14.5. So I pick my tape measure, pull it down to the point 14.5, then I mark. I'll go ahead to square across the pattern. I'm using my pencil at first because I'm not going to be making use of the actual underbust line. Instead, I'll be coming upward by some inches because I want to achieve a push-up effect for my corset. So I'll be trying to push up the underbust line upwards this way. So here's my actual underbust line, which is giving me 4 inches bust radius. But like I said, I would like to reduce that. So I'll come inward by 1/2 inch. this way. So instead of 4, I'm doing 3.5 to have the push-up effect. So I'll go ahead now and square across this line as my new underbust line. So it will be a reduction of 1/2 inch like so. So having done this now, remember actual underbust is 4, but I'm doing 3.5. So I'll be going upward for my apex now to get my neckline. So I'm using the exact 4 inches bust radius. Actually, corset is not meant to cover up like that. So you could actually reduce yours. So instead of the 4 inches bust radius, you might do 3.5. Having measured your actual underbust as 4, so you can come up from the apex 3.5 or 3 inches depending on how much of your cleavage area you want revealing like so. Actual bust radius is 4 inches, and for me I like to go up my apex with the same 4 inches. So at this point now, I can go ahead to draw my neck style line like so. So this is what I'll have. So to blend now to the center front region, I'll need to come inward by certain value. Usually one can do 1/2 inch or one can do 3/4 inch, which is 0.5 or 0.75. So for this particular design, I'm choosing 0.5, which is 1/2 inch. So I'll go ahead to just square up and down slightly with my pencil this way. So having done this now, I'll be marking for my apex now, just with dotted line to touch the center front region, because we also need to do some contouring here. Why is this so? Let me quickly show us some exercises. Here's the first exercise for this particular tutorial. I have my bra cup here, and I also have this piece of fabric to wrap around the bra cup. And to do this, I'll need to first construct darts here, which represent the upper bust area like so. I'll go ahead to also construct darts at the opposite direction, which represents the under bust area like so. With the construction of these 2 darts, I can go ahead now to trim the piece of fabric to conform to the shape of the bra cup. However, you observe that there still exists a bit of an excess here, which I can actually go ahead to pull and construct that like so, and this represents the center front region. Likewise on the other side this way, there still exists excess, which I can also put into construction of that this way. So instead of having only these 2, I went ahead to construct that here and likewise here. And with this other 2 darts introduced, you could see that the fabric now is conforming more to the shape of the bra cup rather than the first one that we did. And based on this now, we'll go ahead to draft our own corset pattern. That's the first exercise. Secondly, we usually take our bust measurement this way, but we observe that at the middle, which is the cleavage area, there exists excess. And when you contour around this region, it does not affect the length of your garment in any way. Instead, when you contour here, it makes the neckline to stay in place better without any form of gaping. Contouring here makes the neckline stay better. So that's another thing you need to note. So back to what we are doing here. So I mark from my apex bust point to connect with the center front this way. So we'll be contouring here just as we've been explained to. So how do I know what to take out here? We'll be learning this one after the other. So first, let's go to our underbust region and do our contouring. So here's my underbust line. I'll be measuring to contour what I have to take out here. So I'll take my tape measure to measure everything I have here from the center front to the side seam. And having 9¼ thereabouts. So I take my measurement book, check my round underbust measurements, which is 30. So I'll go ahead now to get the value of 30, which is 7.5. So whatever excess I have left is what I'm going to be taking out. So when you are doing yours, just simply impute your own value to know the excess to take out at the underbust line. What I'm having here is about 2 inches 1/3 actually. So what I do is to share it on both sides of the dart leg. So I first mark out the middle of my dart leg this way. Then I want to take more to the side seam than to the center. So I'll be marking about 3/4 here, while on this side I'll do 1 inch. By the time I still sum the two, I still have my 1/3 to take out for my underbust tightening. So I'll go ahead now to connect with the waistline that I have, my basque waistline. I also do the other side like so, because mine is a gown. So depending on what style you are working, just connect with your waistline. Then also connect my underbust tightening with the apex, the bust points, just straight on like so, without any form of curving. So with this now, we are done with our underbust tightening, which is just 1 out of 4 points that we'll be doing our contouring for the corset. So having done this, we'll move to the side piece, and to do this region, I'll be using my bust radius as a guide. Actual bust radius is 4, so I mark my 4 with additional ½ inch, making 4.5 on this side. Why did I do this? I'll show us another exercise. So if you have a bust distance this way, for instance, then you're having a bust radius from apex to underbust, something like this. Then from this apex down to the center front, you'll be having 3.5. But if you actually want the center, the middle, to divide the bust into 2, definitely that distance has to be increased for it to actually go down to touch your chest probably. So if you are doing corset that we are contouring at the middle, there is need for this measurement to be increased to 4 inches. That is one. Then for the side seam, our bust is fuller to the side. So at the side, I cannot do my 4 inches, which is my bust radius. I need to do 4 or even do as much as 5 inches, so that it will actually grip and push the bust from the side towards the front. So our bust radius cannot be used at the side. Hope you are getting what I'm trying to explain. So you cannot do the same bust radius all round like so. That's my take anyway. So for the side, I'll make it a bit longer than the under bust radius. Back to what we are doing here. Actual bust radius is 4, but I did 3.5 at the under bust area to achieve push-up effect. So at the side now, I'm doing 4.5. I just explained why. So at the side seam, we already have our side dart, which is going to be guiding us to know what to contour with here. So I'll simply connect now with the underbust line like so. So I'll go ahead now to measure what I have here, which will be guiding me, serving as a guide to know what to do at the center front in form of contouring. So underbust tightening here is 1/3. Automatically, I'll know what to do at the neck point based on the lapelli guideline to contouring. So which is going to be ½ inch lesser than what we have on the underbust area. For the side contouring, we have 1 inch here, and in the same value that will be guiding us to know what to do at the center front region. So I'll be contouring with 1 inch here, or sometimes slightly more. But whatever we have at the underbust is what to guide us to know what to contour with at the neck region. So let's get to do the neck region next. So I'll first square up this way, like so. Then I'm going to be taking out ½ inch lesser than what we have on the underbust, but I take it only under the side piece. So I mark my 1¼ this way. Then I'll go ahead to connect with the apex, still with a straight line like so. So this is the contouring for this region. We have done that of the underbust. We have also done that of the side. So we are left with the center front line. So for my center front, I'll be taking the 1 inch here. Remember, we drew our underbust line and we contour within this region. we drew the side and we contour within this region. Likewise for the neck, we contoured within this region. So at the center front, we'll be following this drawing, the marking, then we'll be contouring within this region like so. So not from the center front, but from here. So I'll go ahead to place my tape measure, mark 1/2 inch on both sides like so. Then having done this now, I can now square outwards to the actual center front this way with the same 1/2 inch. Then later connect now, slant like so with the apex, the bust points. So this is how to contour at the center front like so. So I'll go ahead now to mark it properly, identifying my contouring points. Now we already have 4 points to contour for our corset. So I'll go ahead to connect this with the underbust line like so. Then I first use my pencil. Then when I get my desired shape, I will use pen to fine tune it properly this way. So at the side now, by the time we construct our side dart, we fold our darts, we'll be able to draw the style line properly. So this is what we are having. Now to blend the neckline very well at the center front, we'll need to determine how high or the depth of our cleavage. So how do we get this now? I'll be taking my tape measure, first highlight the apex line down to the center front this way. We need to put into consideration our contouring. So from this point mark, which is the bust point line, I determine how high I want it. So I'll go upward here by 1.5. If you are doing yours, you can do 2, 2.5. So whatever height you want, you now go ahead to add the contouring, the width of your contouring to it. So for this now, I'll go ahead to add extra 1 inch, which we contoured with at the center front. So by the time I pick it from this my apex line, the bust point line, I'll be having total of 2.5, which is 1.5 height that I desire, then 1 inch for the contouring, so that by the time we'll cut and we'll take out our contouring, I will have my 1.5 height left. I do hope you got that. This now determines your cleavage, how deep your cleavage is. So having done this now, I can go ahead to blend my neckline this way. And if you wish, you could actually make it straight on or make it still come downward to having some sort of V neckline like so. So with this now, we are done with our corset pattern. So we are using any pattern that is not having side dart. I wouldn't know how you do it, but with your shoulder dart and side dart, you are good to go with this method of drafting corset pattern. So before I cut off my corset area, here is my design once again, and it's having yoke. So I'll go ahead now, following the neck width that we done earlier with that of the back, to impute my yoke style line. So depending on how you want it, you connect with the front neckline like so, and really mark this point very well as a guide. So what I'll do now will be to first cut out the yoke this way. Then we're going ahead to removing all the contouring one after the other for the corset. So here's my yoke, which I'll be using nude net to cut out. So I'll go ahead now to start removing and cutting the contouring one after the other. So starting from the neck region, I remove it this way. So then, having removed this region, it's possible for me to actually go ahead to close up that of the side piece like this, or simply cut it out. Whichever way, we are still going to be arriving at the same thing. So I'm using my gun to just hold it in place, then go ahead to fine tune the corset style line properly this way. Then we're going ahead to cut it out. So I can go ahead to cut, following my style line what I've drawn here already, down to the underbust line, then connect to the waistline, and as such removing my underbust tightening line. So So I'll go ahead to remove the other side, which reflects my underbust tightening completely. So I cut it off like this. It's not needed any longer. So this is what my front pattern looks like. Then lastly, we want to cut off the contouring at the center front. So I'll go ahead following my marking to cut it off this way, like so. So this is what you have this way. So the last thing we now need to do will be to cut off this region, the center piece, yes, as small as it is. I'll cut it off now, and with the help of masking tape, I'll go ahead to attach this small piece now with the lower part as one full piece, like so. So this piece will be attached with the center piece this way. But let me first attach this with tape, this small piece with tape. So having done this, this is what I'll have, like so. And I can now go ahead to cut off the remaining parts of the corset area this way. So I'll do my proper labeling. This is my center front, which I'll actually be cutting on fold. And here is going to be my inseam. Then this is the other inseam, which I'll be joining together like so. So check out my basque waistline, just because I did all of those initial drafting. So for the corset area, I think we are good to go. So I label up this way, down this way. Then this is the inseam for this region, inseam for the other region, the inseam for the side seam region, if there's anything like that. Inseam, inseam, so that when joining the two pieces together, both will align like so. Now, there's another thing we need to put into consideration, which I'd already shown us in one of those exercises. The actual bust radius, which is distance from apex to underbust, was actually 4 inches, but I reduced that now to 3.5, which we have measured out this way. Then at the side from the apex, we went out by 4.5. Now to consider the center front region, let me take this back and be able to measure from the actual center front down to the apex. We are having 3.5. And from those exercises, this value now is quite smaller than the under bust measure, the actual under bust. So I need to fill up to at least make it up to 4 inches like so. So I'll be filling up this center front and blending it up like so. So to do this, I went ahead to place it on another paper. So at this region, I need to take it back with the center front so that I take the measurement from the actual center front. So I'll go ahead now to mark my 4, which is just 1/2 inch extension. Then from the neck point this way, I gradually blend. Then also be connecting it with the under bust region like so. Can you see? So we need to fine tune this shape. Then we again be cross checking what I have, if it's not more than what we have on the other side. So I'll go ahead to cut. So I think for this other side, we are still good to go. I'll cross check what we have, 4.5. Then here 3.5, good. Then for the upper part, this is 4.25. We are still good to go like so. So what do we have here? I'll cross check. This is slightly more. Then this is still more. So I need to cut off the, okay, I actually filled it off. So this was an excess. So I needed to cut it off. So this is what we now have here now. We filled also that we have the actual bust distance, our bust radius here. So I'll be going ahead now to cross check what I have here, like so. So from this region, the under bust region, I'll cross check. I'm supposed to have 3.5 here, so which helps us to be able to join these two pieces together. So I'll check now if there's any form of excess this way. I think this is slightly more, so I'll mark. So from the neck point, the same way I try to cross check what I'm having, like so, I'll also mark. So whatever excess I have here, I'll simply cut through it and lap it over, just more like you handle gaping. I already have a free video on gaping and contouring on the channel. You might look up that video if you are probably new to my channel or you haven't attended the class before. We also have paid classes that you can be part of on gaping, contouring, and some of that things that I have actually done in the process of doing this corset pattern. So cross checking now, I have my 3.5 this way, and for the upper part I'm having my 4 inches 1/4 thereabout, like so. So we are good to go now to joining these two pieces together. So this is what you have. But again, for this side piece, to reduce the sharpness that we have here, I'll need to place it on another paper and slightly blend this way, truing this pattern but making sure that both sides still align, they are equal for us to join together. So placing on another paper like so, I've got now to use my pencil to fill up slightly to make this angle curved like so, and this apex, the bust point, I try to blend it to remove any form of sharpness. So I also fill up this region slightly likewise and blend this way. So having done this now, I can go ahead now to cut. And afterwards now, I'll try to check for the alignment of the two patterns. If need be, I can still trim slightly so that while joining I will not run into any form of issues. So don't get tired of cross-checking and cross-checking sewists. So I think with this we are good to go. I'm measuring, by the time we join it to this piece, we have our 4 inches. Again, by the time we join this side to this other piece, because of the shaping that we have at this region, this is what you have. When you get to this point, automatically that end remains flat. So you'll be forced to push this inward this way. And what happens? You can see it already popping up, giving room for the curve, for the bust area, because this end is not straight. So this is what you have. And by the time you even join the other side to it this way, our cup is already formed like so. Isn't it beautiful? Hope you're loving it already. So we are done with our corset pattern this way. Now for the yoke, this was the yoke that we cut off. So if your corset pattern is having yoke, you need to take this into consideration. I actually marked this point when I cut off my yoke, which is the beginning of the yoke. And remember, we had already taken out some inches in form of contouring here. So if we go ahead now to join, because of this shaping, our yoke will be slightly longer at the armhole like this. So at this region, we need to put certain things into consideration. Our gaping, contouring at the armhole, filling up and replacement, all of those things has to come in place. So if you have taken my class or you have watched a free video on the YouTube channel on contouring, armhole princess, excesses at the armhole, you understand what should be done here. So let me quickly run through it. So placing my yoke on the pattern this way, I go ahead to mark out following the outline of the yoke on the pattern as if it's already sewn like so. And with this, I'll be able to see the excess that I need to take out. So I also need to do some filling up here. So I'll fill up and extend slightly this way. And with this now, we are finally done with the drafting. So by the time I place my yoke, you see we are good to go now without any form of shortage. So this is how to go about the drafting of your corset pattern. I do hope you follow through. You might need to watch this video over and over for you to master it. So here our pattern pieces that was fabricated for the corset pattern. So all we need to do is to put our green line instructions and go ahead to placing on fabric. So to place on fabric now, since I have a skirt part that is whole, this is the main fabric and this is the lining, it's best for me to first cut out the whole pattern, which is the skirt that is whole, is wider, before I go ahead to cut all these small pieces.
So using my pattern to cut out my main fabric, I also went ahead to cut the lining for each of the pattern like so. I also went ahead to cut my interfacing to give it structure a bit, and doing my sewing and checking for alignment. So we are interested in the video of the detailed drafting, the way I drafted the skirt part, fusing it together with the bodies, and the step-by-step sewing. There's going to be a video, a paid class for that. So we are interested to see the step-by-step sewing so that you'll be guided when you are making your own version. You could contact me on the WhatsApp number for the paid class. So here's the wrong side. It's as neat and sweet as the right side. Hope you're loving it already. So I went ahead to fuse the bodies of the back, and here's the front, doing my sewing at the side seam. So I also went ahead to embellish, yes, to spice it up, add the more beauty, sparkling, shining effect to it, even though it's sequence. So I also engaged my student to help me make fringes. Can you see that one? She was getting tired. I can understand making fringes is not an easy task. So the fringes was made, but the thread they used was kind of too deep, wasn't the exact gold on the fabric, but I managed it like that. Again, I need to call our attention here. We reduced our underbust radius by half, making it 3.5. In the same way, we could have pushed up the apex itself so that there will be evenness in the distance between the underbust to the apex and apex to the neck region like so. So our dress is finally ready. It's been a long journey from drafting, cutting, sewing, and all of those embellishments. I'm so much in love with this wrong side. So sweet. So here we are. So even if we try to cross-check the measurement once again, you can now see the bust distance is wider than the original. I'm picking it from the center front, see the measurement that we have, and from my underbust, now the new underbust to the apex, can you see? Then from that region up to the neck, and you see what we have, and from this point down to the side, can you see? So if you want your corset to actually divide your bust around the middle here, you know how to go about it. And if you want your corset to be something of this sort, you really know how to go about it. So the choice is yours. But at least with this video, you now have a better understanding why I did it like that and how it should be ideally with all of those exercises that I've showed up. Again, there are different types of corsets. Sometimes your corset will have yoke, sometimes you want it to just be like bustier without yoke. But when you want to take your measurement, you will have taken your measurement normally this way, well, while the person is wearing bra. So if you want to do your corset so that you are not going to wear bra, of course you cannot be using this same measurement, because like now I'm wearing bra, so my bra has made my bust area to be compact. So when I take my measurement this way to draft my pattern, it will be different from when I'm not wearing bra, which will make it smaller. So if you want to draft your corset, you want to do a corset style that will warrant you not wearing bra, then one needs to reduce the bust measurement. One cannot use the exact bust measurement that you have while wearing your bra to do a corset that you want to wear without bra. So let's check it out. So I pulled off my bra and I want to retake my bust measurements now. So retaking my bust measurements, what do I have? Can you see? So I'm having about 36 as against 38 normally if I put on my bra. And even at this is just normal. If I want to do a corset that I really want not to wear bra and I want it to be firm, then my bust measurement needs to get smaller again, so that whatever cup, the bra cup or whatever enhancement I'm doing there will actually hold my bust in shape this way. So we cannot use our exact bust measurement when we are wearing bra to draft corset that you want to wear without bra. The bust measurement should reduce, but that is for people who are fully busted. For somebody who is already flat chested, you are going to be helping that person, the person's bust area, by adding to the person's bust measurement, because you are going to be inserting bra cup to enhance that area. So depending on whoever you are handling, you are working with, you know what to do. So thank you so much for watching till the very end. I'm sure you learned a great deal from this video. Kindly give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you are yet to subscribe. Tell another stories about La Perry College of Fashion YouTube sewing channel. Follow us on all our social media platforms. And if you also want to enroll for our paid classes, contact me on the WhatsApp number displayed on the screen. Until my next video, thank you for watching. Bye for now.
La Perry College of Fashion, raising professionals.